Okay, hello, Kuna. We're going to be going over the May 7th, 2024 Kuna City Council meeting and just see if anything pops up.
First item is a consent agenda. Questions or comments or motion?
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as published. Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Nathan, would you poll the council?
Councilmember McPherson?
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember.
All right, so remember, consent agenda, they just have a whole bunch of items on there, and if they want to pull it out, they can discuss it. I don't really see anything. That seems to do it. Final plats usually means that they had already pre-approved it, preliminary plat approval through public hearings, and then this is just them completing all of the requirements.
Member Laraway?
Yes.
Council President Bruce?
Yes.
And that motion carries. Public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to address the council? I have one person signed up, Cindy Geeson. Was there anybody else who wanted to address?
Cindy Geeson?
All right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I want to thank you for this public opportunity to comment, and I would like to mention a few things. As we went through the 2301-08 Title 5-6 rewrite hearing process, a public comment was submitted on November 7th by Ben Decker. No one seemed to mention or consider Ben's suggestion, so I would like to bring it up to your attention. I felt it was an excellent idea and worthy of your consideration. In Ben's written testimony, due to the proposed mostly restored lot line code changes, Ben seemed to be objecting to the loss of our strong community agricultural land in our rural areas due to the high density subdivisions taking over ag land and the resulting excess creation of rental properties. Due to subdivision codes, most rural landowners can't afford to create several multi-acre plots that can share wells and septics. What I concluded he was suggesting was that unit add a rural resident zone to our land use codes, and I'll add to that to our future land use map. Ben noted several nearby cities that have these RR zones, in addition to R2 and R6 and R5, whatever. He noted the many positive benefits that a RR zone would bring to Kuna. It would help maintain some of our rural character, would provide some hard-to-find small acreage lots for families to thrive in. RR would create a stronger community, and I'll add that those plots will create less traffic, less public utility and school needs, and will provide a better land use transition into the regions to the west of 10 Mile. I looked at the STARS muni codes on this, and I want to read just a little bit of what it said. It said a rural residential district is needed to provide for rural single-family residential use, adjacent to agricultural areas, adjacent to other rural resident-type uses, and adjacent to BLM land. Parcels are to be 2 acres at a minimum. It is the intent of this land use designation to help to preserve STAR's rural feel. And there's a little bit more, but then it said uses may include active agriculture, viticulture, equestrian, and residential needs. Uses include native open spaces, small-scale active farmlands. The rural residential land use is not an amenity-based use, like no sewer, water, school connections, and will usually be located away from goods and services. So I just recommend that you look at what STAR's done. There might be better ones, but they look like they did a good job, and I can see a great need for that here. So thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Ben, for suggesting it.
Was there anybody else who wished to address the council? Okay, that leads us to Kuna School.
Cindy has provided a lot of comments on that code rewrite, but it looks like it's going to be coming anyway. They approved it.
District, May 21st levy. Kimberly?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, good evening, and thank you. I have some information I just like to give. So
Okay.
Here's your council president or council person. How do you using this as?
Thank you.
Feel free to draw it. I'm a teacher.
Do you have crayons?
I don't have crayons. There you go. So,
And then if you have one, you can hand to the clerk over there. Just so,
how's
yeah.
that sound?
He wants one.
Yeah, that's great.
Does anybody want a copy of this?
All right, thank
Can
you.
I put this down here? Would that be okay? Just over here? Thank you.
Yeah, just don't push any buttons.
I've done that a few
Okay.
times. I just want to thank you for allowing me to represent our school board and to let you know what's going on in the levy. So tonight, I just want to make sure that you understand we're going to be asking for a levy May 21st. It will be for 2 years. It's 10.6 million for those 2 years. So I also want to thank you because I think it's important we work together because we love this community. Thank you so much for allowing us to put a flyer in all of the water bills for the patrons and community members for them to read up on this. And I think that's important for them to educate themselves and to realize that this levy has specific things we're asking for. It's not just money you're giving us. It's stuff that goes for specific things. With that being said, I kind of want to give you a little bit of background, tell you what it would do to your taxes, ask if you have any questions, and then hopefully get your support in all of this. So I'll start with the background. As you know, during the pandemic, we were given Easter money. And you also know that in Idaho, growth does not pay for growth. And you cannot charge impact fees. We're growing. We use that Easter money to hire some new teachers, to get new curriculum, to work on technology, and to also do some facility maintenance that we were behind on. So we use that mainly for that. Well, that Easter money's gone away. Also during the pandemic, the state of Idaho, for those of you that don't realize, we get paid per pupil. There's a funding they have. So during the pandemic, they gave us money for 100% of our students. So we have a little less than 6,000 students. We got per pupil money for each student that was registered in our school district. Well, they've taken that away now. It's called attendance, what do I want to say, daily attendance average, ADA. So what's happened is now instead of funding us 100%, they're only funding us for the average students that attend. So we have a great accountant who is pretty much spot on and let us know that that's going to be about a 7% loss. So that meant that we had a 93% budget instead of 100, and we've lost our Easter money. So that being said, we then decided to take a look at what we could do to save money. So one of the things that we've been doing to save that 7% is we are now contracting with a company for our custodial. We saved $300,000. As you know, we've done some mitigation to help us. We also have looked at some contracts and have gone back over and gotten them for a little cheaper. I always love people when they say, your school district is just spending money, and I want to say, come and see. We're a mean, lean fight machine here. So that's kind of what we went ahead and did. And now, we no longer have the Easter money. We no longer have that 7%, yet we still need teachers. So this levy will pay for 15 teachers, just maintain them, We'll also pay for the resource officer we hired during the pandemic, also pay for behavior managers, and we'll pay for curriculum and technology that we need. And those are things that we need to make our school district good. Also, facilities we're looking at, and we're not being proactive, we're just doing what we need. Hubbard, which was built in the 70s, is leaking. And so that needs to be replaced. Also, Reed's roof needs to be replaced. And when I first heard that, I was like, are you kidding me? We just built Reed. But believe it or not, it was 20 years ago. So it's just normal wear and tear. Also, we need to update the air conditioner in Indian Creek and Ross. My son teaches at Kuna High School, and their conditioner this fall was not being able to air condition the whole place. So my understanding was they would air condition this half, and this half would not be air conditioned. Then the next day, they'd air condition this half, and this half would not be air conditioned. Not a really good learning environment. So these are things that we really need to replace. Also, we need to replace some of our fire alarms for safety. We're looking at getting 3 buses. You guys know that we are growing. Is again $3.87 for us to pay down. And next year, you're only going to be paying $91.
So the bond failed the other time, so.
And 38 cents, which is a decrease of $70. $103 I believe next year. Right? I think it's a really good deal for what. Mr. Bigson, I appreciate that.
Well, I guess to expand is if it goes right to November, that's going to be even tougher or more of a challenge, I guess.
It is.
And the threshold, if I remember, the levy is 50 plus 1, isn't it?
It is, and that's why we're doing the levy. A bond is 7 and 6%. And if I have time, just to give you an idea, there are only 2 states that require that, us and Kentucky. The difference in Kentucky is the state pays for the schools, and then you bond for whatever you want to put in those schools, which I think is a wonderful idea and something maybe we should look at. So the state pays to build the schools, nothing fancy, and then you as a community pay to put in how you want, whatever you want in it. And I think that's kind of a good idea, but they're the only other state that requires that. But you know how hard it is. I think we've worked together quite a bit to know that it's not easy to get these bonds passed, and we're not the only school district that's struggling. So thank you.
And then I'll also say, as far as the bond goes, you've got a great capital planning committee that's working on that, really working to strategize what the urgent needs are and what you can do. And what
Yeah, we'll be putting that together again. We've done that in the past. I think it's wonderful that we're transparent and that we let the community know what we need and what they want to have. I think that's an important piece.
And you always have a good mix of people too, whether it's farmers or
Yeah,
ranchers or.
because it affects everybody. I think you're right.
Everybody has a say in it.
Yeah,
there, so.
yeah, I think you're
I appreciate that a
100%.
lot. And thank you so much for being a part of the Kuna School District for so many years and continuing to do so even after your time as an educator.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, in conclusion, I just want you to know, having lived in this community as long as I have and taught here, I think there's one thing that you guys want and that we want. We want to make Kuna a good place for people to live.
It's not just the school asking for stuff they don't need.
No, and I really want people to.
All right, and this is a proclamation for Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas there is a proven connection.
Executive summary, the Meridian Road Extension Corridor Study, and the Meridian Road Extension Corridor Study appendices. And with that, I will stand by for any questions you may have.
Okay, questions for Doug? All right, this is a public hearing, and I have 2 that have signed up to testify. Is anybody else who wishes to testify didn't get a chance to sign in? Thank you, Dan. You have readers on too? Thank you.
It's like this is some kind of Meridian Road Corridor
Dave,
Extension
you may
study.
have the floor, sir. Yes. No, just one.
That's why most people use last names, yes. But what do I
Okay,
know?
Dave Splatt, sorry.
It's okay, my name is Dave Splatt, I live at 970 Ashwood Court, that's here in Kuna. I put myself on the neutral section because I don't think any of this matters. The Ada County shows most of that corridor from Meridian Road as existing right away, but that doesn't really matter. Because ACHD has a policy that says all section line roads, which is Meridian Road, will be future arterials. That doesn't matter either, because the Regional Transportation Plan includes Meridian Road extension in their long-range plan. So although there are 3 agencies already did it, you guys did it again. But the negative side you're forgetting is that my friends and clients on staff at ACHD tell me that they're kind of upset at CUNA because you came up with rejected 3 of their plans. already, and this one never came up in any of their previous drafts. They're also upset at ACHD staff because you guys, we keep building subdivision, climbing up the roads. Try to drive 10 miles at 7:30 in the morning on Meridian Road at 7:30. There's half mile or longer queues on both of those roads. The same thing I hear from my friends on staff at ITD is that Meridian Road has already got almost mile-long queues at 7:30 in the morning. And they're not people coming from ours, they're people coming from Kuna. And extending that road to the south isn't going to make it any better. So anyway, I think it's just frustrating to me that our city spends all this time doing this for no apparent reason, but, you know, somebody my money, what do I care? Okay, that's the end of my brief presentation. Did that make sense to any of you? Nod your head. Thank you.
Actually, it's just, I mean, it's interesting that ITD and ACHD never comment anything like that on any of the.
Maybe, I don't know if you guys are playing on the computer, but I didn't say ACHD and ITD. I said my friends on staff there.
Oh my God.
There's a difference.
Okay. All right,
You know, I work for all those agencies. Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Splett, you can have them reach out to us if you like.
Love names. Love names.
Why would you do that?
Well,
You're saying they're upset with us.
I said the staff is upset. This is the third time I said it.
Right, we understand the staff, but if that's the problem, and they're saying that they can't handle the flow of traffic,
Anybody who drives a car knows the roads can't handle the traffic. You don't have to have staff or anybody tell you that.
but they don't come down here and tell us when we have developments.
Well, I wonder why that is.
They sign off on every project.
You guys keep approving subdivision, and all you gotta do is look at the streets. Do you drive at 7:30 in the morning?
We all do, but the staff report from ACHD says it's acceptable. That's what we base our decision on. So if it's not acceptable, why are they saying it is but telling you something different?
Because when you ask them, they say, Kuna signs the plat, and the plat says, we have the public facilities to support this. And so they, ACHD staff tell me, Kuna said it's fine.
Well, we'll agree to disagree then because that's not right.
I know it's not right. Have you driven those roads?
Every morning, sir. Every morning I drive those roads. And if the staff had a problem with it, why don't they take that to their uppers to then say to us, that road can't handle that? That would give us grounds to stop a subdivision development instead of approving it.
Because I do work for ACHD.
We've established that. You said it 3 times.
Thank
I
you.
figure you don't understand. So
I understand a lot of
Next.
things, Mr. Lutz.
Hey, thank you.
You want me to answer this question or not? Okay.
All right. So the way all the subdivisions work is they get comments from all the agencies. So if ACHD has an issue with, as he's claiming, they would say something in the writing. And this gentleman is blaming them for subdivisions, which they don't want to have either in Kuna, but they're controlled by state law, which if unless ACHD, if they specifically say, the roads can't handle the increased traffic that development will do, then they can shut down the project. But if everybody is giving it the green light, the city council members have no basis to not approve the proposal. And if they do cancel it and there's no real justification, there's no department that is shooting it down, they may find themselves in a lawsuit with the developer that it was arbitrary.
Cindy Geeson.
Cindy.
Good evening, Cindy Geeson, Giesen, for the record. Thanks. I had a couple questions. Well, my address is 1363 South Ash Avenue. I had a couple questions. I'm wondering, can you move that to about page 250? Okay, stop. My first question was, I tried to download that from the link, and on several platforms, several web browsers, phone that, and I could not get anything from it till I got to about page 350. So I'm just wondering, I've been to enough meetings, so I'm okay, that I kind of know what's going on with it. But I think there's an issue with that document that you posted. So my question to the attorney is, should we always have the package with the agenda, or are you only required to have an agenda? So that's my first question, because I couldn't get the package. So anyway, excellent
packet's
database
all
system that they have there where they kept track of all this, of all these hearings and public comments and stuff. That's very nice. There were a lot of comments about Indian Creek and whether when you do this, when you build this thing over, can we still give our floaties into the creek? Very important. And so I don't know if that is possible, and I wonder if somebody, since I couldn't see that, if they addressed that, because it didn't seem that I've ever heard it addressed it. And the last two gentlemen that came to speak at the public hearing at planning and zoning talked about it, and it sounded like their land's on the creek, and we'll have a problem on the other side. We used to get in much trouble. And that was a big deal, actually, with a lot of people, because we enjoy the creek a lot. Okay. And those neighbors that showed up, and I don't know if you read the minutes, but they asked about making a little bit of a change on the curve. And so, unless you read the last planning and zoning minutes, you might not be aware of that. And it seemed like a simple thing that would free up his access to a shop. And they were very kind, they seemed like you guys covered all the neighbors, so that was nice. But they just wanted some minor adjustments that before you approve this, I hope you guys address that. And there was one more. There's some noise issues as well. And let me see if there's anything else. I'm kind of curious about how much did this cost us total. I know JUB got kind of an initial payment, and I never could figure out how much total did it cost for you to do this Meridian Jack. So I would like to know about that. Other than that, I think please don't do a roundabout. Otherwise, it's great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Danielle.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman. My name is Danielle Horace, Director of Partnerships, Kuna School District, 711 East
Kuna.
Porter. I am here and representing Kuna School District to speak in support of this. And there are folks who know far more than I do about roads and buses and safety, and they've looked at this. And just to be consistent, we want to be on the record again stating that we are in support. And the reason is that the students will be able to more safely transport to school in large school buses. So that's all I want to communicate. Thanks all.
Thank you. And I believe this was one of the conditions in order for the ability to use the 100 acres at Thornton's was that improvement, the intersections there. So hopefully it'll help the schools also. Mike.
My name's Mike Lodge. I live at 1032 South Reeves Avenue, which this will be right behind my subdivision, and I am 100% supportive of it. I think we've needed this for some time for safety of the school buses, as well as all of our EMS, and I deal with sheriffs and fire, both, know people on both circumstances, and all of them have said this would be a great asset to access that side of the road, which is growing. We're growing everywhere, so, but I'm 100% in support of it and want to do.
All right. Okay, thank you. Doug, did you want to comment any further?
Yeah, for the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning. I can say that the overpass would not impact floating. The Indian Creek would still have to flow as it currently does. It would go up and over. And just to address the funding question, through fiscal year 23, City Council approved a budget of $254,012.69. A contingency request was requested to the Council on November 21st, 2023 for $108,033.31, which brought up to the total funds allocated for the project at $362,046.
Okay, thank you. Question?
Doug, have you heard, Doug, referring to our earlier guests, have you heard any feedback from ACHD about this displeasure of our not playing fair?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning. No, I have not heard any of that. And just for the record to add, ACHE and ITD were both stakeholders and were involved in the entire planning process for this study.
Okay, thank you.
So, Doug, if I remember right, trying to remember one of the details, they had made an agreement that if this were to go through, that IT would relinquish the part with the curve that goes to Avalon, correct? And then 69 would continue on south.
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning. So those were talks as a part of the overall study, but no, no jurisdictional determination has been determined at this point in time.
Until it's all probably official. Thank you.
I have one more.
Yes.
And this site was decided over time with community members and both of those agencies as well, right?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning, that's correct.
And then one more, sorry.
You go ahead.
And from here, once this is done, then ITD will pick it up and continue the engineering from there? or-
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning. At this point in time, we will, if approved this evening, we'll have a formally adopted study. What happens from here on out, nothing is concrete, but what I can say is, let me get the specific date here right for you. At the March Regional Transportation Advisory Committee meeting, the Compass, RTAC requested, sorry. Yeah, so the regional
Anyway, this is just a traffic study, doing traffic counts. The file was corrupted, so
transportation.
I'm not sure what's going on with that PDF.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, that got approved.
Questions, thoughts, concerns?
Southsiders just make me happy.
Doug?
Mayor and Council, for the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning, 751 West 4th Street. The applicant is requesting time extension approval for the Madrone Heights subdivision number 3, final plat, due to a downturn in the housing market and wishing to complete phase 2 prior to beginning phase 3. The subject site is located at West Kuna.
So these ones are interesting because they had talked earlier, I'm not sure what month that was, about they really don't have any basis to decline these time extensions. And I'm not sure if it's Ada County or the rewrite. What it's going to do is allow the first extension to be done administratively. And then if they need an additional one after that, when I mean administratively, I think it's with the director. And then if they need another one after the director, then they need to get it requested. This is interesting because they're talking about the housing market. So let's listen in.
Moore Road, west of South 10 Mile Road. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Have we already extended this one, Doug?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning, this particular phase has not had a request for extension.
The good news is that means we're not building houses fast.
Anybody have anything?
So I guess the thought is with the downturn in the market, how long? I don't know what their projection is. Doug, this is good for 1 year?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning, yes, the extension would be good for 1 year from the council's approval.
I drive by Madrone Heights every morning and every afternoon. It wouldn't surprise me if we see it again.
Well,
It's been a very slowly developing project.
and so if we Doug, if we deny this time extension, what does that mean for them? Do they have to go back through the process?
For the record, Doug Hanson, Kuna Planning and Zoning. It's difficult as they already have completed 2 phases of the overall preliminary plat. Should this application be denied this evening, they would still have grounds to file a reconsideration request to Planning and Zoning, and that's a director level determination to just revise the preliminary plat. That's just currently how code is written. So if it were denied this evening, they could request reconsideration on the plat, and then we would just have to go through assess, and then if there are any new conditions to be added to the overall preliminary plat, that could be done. However, they are complying with all of the requirements listed in Kuna City Code to request this extension.
Thank you.
The code doesn't have any basis for reasons for
Make a motion to approve case number 24-01-TE.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded for approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Consideration to approve case 2402TE, time extension. Doug
Yeah, the
Wilson.
previous issue with extending them
Mayor
indefinitely
and council, for the record, Doug Hansen, Kuna
was that they could just basically plant or just park on these, I think, IDUs or just, certain things are put aside, designated units,
Planning and zoning. The applicant is
resources.
requesting time extension approval for Grand Prado subdivision number 4, final plat, due to delays in construction on the water main located within Lake Hazel Road. The subject site is located near West Broward Drive and South Memory Avenue. This application in particular is also experiencing delays because they have had to work in tandem with neighboring county subdivision, the Bitter Creek subdivision, which is just on the north side of this phase line. They've had to establish the decommissioning of a pond for wastewater service, and that was also related to this delays. The city is still working through some of those agreements as well.
This is the first time also.
For the record, Doug Hansen, Kuna Planning and Zoning, that's correct.
John, I make a motion that we approve case number 24-02-TE.
Motion's made and seconded for approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Item 8C, budget presentation. Jared Emby.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you, I have the budget results as of March 31st, so we're halfway through the fiscal year on this report. This begins on page 146 of the packet. So before you, we have the cash reconciled as of the end of March. As you can see, we have several operating accounts and also several investment accounts. The main operating account is out of U.S. Bank. We also have an urban renewal account out of First Interstate. Below, you'll see that
Okay, I'm just reading through the text to see if there's anything that seems to pop up. Okay, here's the irrigation district.
Irrigation district, the owners, and update the irrigation system map and providing an effective date.
I make a motion that we waive 3 readings of ordinance 2024-07.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to waive the 3 readings. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 2024-07 as published.
Motion's made and seconded for approval. Is there any further?
Okay, yeah, they previously gone through the budget. I just kind of blew through that. I don't know if I want to get into that level of detail. Anyway, that's about it. Doesn't seem really anything major went through. So have a good one. All right, bye-bye.